Ever have a long term goal that seemed never really to get any attention? It never had traction because as each evening came and went, you realize again you forgot to do it, or maybe you're working on a mindset, a way you want to see the world, the problems, your family, and there's so much noise going on, it's hard for you to remember that. I'm going to share with you a special tool I have used to help me with my long term goals and also with my mindset that I think you're going to enjoy. Hey friend, the daily demands of life leave you exhausted and burnt out with no time for yourself. Are you feeling alone in your relationship and hopeless of life ever changing? Hey, I'm so glad you're here. I'm Christina, married 18 years to my neurodiverse husband and mom of 3 neurodiverse kids. Welcome to the Neurodiverse Family Life Podcast, where we are reclaiming self-care for moms while still being a loving wife and mother. Get ready to begin your self-care journey. Grab your latte planner as you listen in and take small steps towards a healthier you. Well, thank you for longtime listeners for coming back and joining me again today. And if you are a new listener, thank you for joining in. Quick FYI, I have an email list if you want to sign up. I send emails about every 2 weeks, usually with some more contemplative and introspective thoughts along with humorous stories of my life to encourage you to keep moving forward on your own goals. So go look at the show notes and you will see a link for that email list. Our focus is going to be today on how we can make progress on goals or mindsets that sometimes feel lofty, they feel difficult to follow through. A couple years ago, I heard Adriana Carrick, and I hope I'm saying her name correctly, but Adriana had spoken at a conference, and I immediately was just attached to her story. She shared how when she was growing up, she experienced a lot of bullying and just difficult moments in life. And she created a bracelet, and I'm trying to capture the story in just a few seconds. But please, if you ever have a chance to listen to her whole story, please do so. But she created worded bracelets for herself to remind herself of who she was, of what she valued, and how that changed her life. And from there, she began creating a business. Now, Adriana's business is called Little Word Project. And as I listened to her talk, and I thought, oh my goodness, I feel that is me so often that I need those reminders. In fact, way going back, before I became more healthy and non-toxic, this is going back maybe about 25 years ago, I would write on my hands all the time with ink, just trying to remind myself of things. Either it was a task, sometimes it was more of a long-term goal, or like how I wanted to act. And obviously, that's not the best thing to be writing on your skin like that. So when I heard her talk about like how she started her business and her mom would get these little letters from a craft store and they would take a marker and like fill it in each individual letter so that it would stay. And I just loved hearing how she grew, but the messaging of how the bracelets she chose were a message to her to remind her. And I think you and I can resonate with this because there are moments when everything is so loud, the problems, the overwhelming decisions to make, the never ending tasks, it can be so loud that we can forget ourselves. We can become this chameleon, this ghost that we kind of forget of what these bigger, loftier things we're working on. It could be health goals. It could be how you want to talk to people. It could be how you want to see yourself. And when I first began buying her bracelets, when the first ones was Grace, because I knew I was so hard on myself. In fact, I wear these bracelets almost every single day, actually. And it was Grace was one of them because I needed to remind myself not to beat myself up whenever I made a mistake or I didn't meet someone's expectations or my own expectations. Also, I bought Fearless because there were moments I felt like I was not fearless. I felt starting this podcast is one example. I had so much fear to begin this. I can't tell you. If you could have seen me in the first episode, how many times I recorded and re-recorded and recorded, listened to myself and like put a blanket over my head. It's kind of amazing now thinking of how many episodes there is in the podcast, and that's all a testament to God's goodness in my life. But I needed the reminder to be fearless, especially when I was feeling so fearful. Later, I added the bracelet Keep Going because life at that time felt really hard. And I needed the reminder, like, I want to keep going. Like, why do I want to keep going? I added on then discipline. And discipline because I knew that I had developed a few habits that really weren't serving me. Some of it was watching too much, maybe of my favorite TV show usually, or my favorite YouTuber longer than needed, or scrolling longer than needed, and realizing that if I wanted the things I want in life, I need to have more discipline. Again, I still then and now take time for myself, self-care. This is what this podcast is all about, self-care. But there's a point where I'm like, do I really need to watch another show? Like binge watching, yeah, there's moments in life, but that shouldn't be a trend, right? Binge watching is not a good trend to have every single weekend or every single night, right? Because we're not going to obtain what we want in life. So discipline helped me remember why I want to be disciplined, like why I want that. It's what I'm working on. And also for my health goals that I had to be disciplined. Then I added the bracelet. I'm looking at my wrists right now as I'm talking to you. The most recent one was Dream. And Dream because sometimes I felt life could be heavy, even though there are joyous moments. There's moments where my husband is doing one of those like dad jokes and I'm just like, oh my gosh, that is so awful, that should be illegal, and I laugh. Or he finds ways to make me smile through just different cards or different gifts, or my kids make me laugh. I have those moments, but there are also other moments that are very heavy and that I can feel it pulling me down, and I can forget what it feels like to dream. And so that bracelet reminds me that I can dream even in the hard moments. And I have one more. I have another one that is authentic, being myself, especially when I feel the pressure not to be myself. Because sometimes I feel like I can be a lot, especially in neurodiverse marriages. If you are a person who feels deeply, or if you're more extroverted, or if maybe you're more spicy compared to the other people in your family, you can be a lot, right? Or maybe maybe your family members who are neurodiverse feel like they are a lot. And reminding myself I can be myself, still respectful, like when my family needs quieter moments, but I can still be myself. So I'm just reading through my bracelets here, sharing with you like how I personally have used this over a couple years. And what I do every single morning, I put on the bracelet, I just say the word to myself. I roll it over my wrist and I say it to myself. And it's less than a minute. But it's amazing how doing something most days of just putting a bracelet on, you're saying the word to yourself, begins to add up. So especially with discipline, the exercising, the working out, especially when I feel tired, doing the walks, recording a podcast, maybe when I don't quite feel like recording a podcast because I want to instead eat popcorn and watch a movie. But like those have helped me continue to move forward. And I've been using these bracelets as well for the word of the year that I have, my focus for that year. So if you are someone where you have a goal and you're like, oh my gosh, I just cannot seem to spend time on it. Like there can be many reasons why. Maybe it's a wrong goal. Maybe it's really someone else's goal and you want to be like them, but you pick that goal. Maybe it's because you like me, like you're like me where you have so much fear. You have so much fear and it's hard for you to move forward on it and there's some things you need to process. Or maybe it's like the reminder. But whether it's fear, whether it's the reminder, whether it's the being disciplined and making time for it, that's what I love about these bracelets, that they can be that reminder for you. In fact, recently I had an experience where I had to have a conversation with my entire family, and it was not an easy conversation. And I remember looking down and I touched the Fearless bracelet and thinking like that God is with me. He helps me to be fearless because we need to have this conversation, even as difficult as it is. And that was just an instantaneous reminder for me to look down and see that and say, yes, this is something that I want to be. And out of love for my family, we need to have this conversation. So I highly encourage you, whether it's Little Word Project or there's other places as well. The reason why I like their specific products is because their items are lead and cadmium free. And as you know, I'm kind of holistic and I prefer being healthy, and I'm looking for items that will last long, but also will not be toxic. But also, I had a bracelet, one of mine, I forget which one it was now. One of mine, the bracelet, it snapped because usually you roll the bracelet on, you don't stretch it over your wrist. Well, this one time I was in a rush, didn't look what I was doing, and it snapped. When you register the bracelet, so on each bracelet there is a little gold, this is a circle, but it has an individual number on each one. And what you can do is you can go to their website and register the bracelet. And so when it's registered, when you have something like that happen, like I did, they will restring it for free. I mean, like, oh my goodness, like I waited until I was nearby a store, but I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe you can mail it in and they'll mail it back to you. But when I was by the store, I just stopped by. Actually, you know what I ended up doing? I bought an extra bracelet and they mailed back the restrung bracelet with the one I bought to me because I couldn't wait. There was something going on. I had to head back home right away. But anyway, I love that they will restring that for you. But also the individual number I mentioned, this is beautiful. This is so beautiful. So what you can do is if you have a bracelet and then if you feel like, you know what, I'm done with this bracelet, you can pass it on to someone else. And then that number, if you registered with a very unique number on that bracelet, they themselves, the new owner, can go log in and they can connect with that same bracelet. And if it's passed to someone else, they can do the same. So how beautiful is it that there can be multiple people with one bracelet connected with it, and you can see, like, it can be passed on. Like, there's moments where I've been where man, I wish I could do something for this person. And to have that bracelet, be like, you know what? I can buy another one. I'm going to give this to you as a reminder that you're valuable or that you were loved. Like, how amazing. So I really like this company a lot. I love Adriana and her and I, she's never spoken to me. She doesn't know me, but I love her message. And this is another reason why I'm mentioning this to you is because recently Little Words Project came out with spinner bracelets, a spinner necklace, and a spinner ring, and a spinner bag charm. Oh my goodness. So when I first saw that, my first thought was, I know people who could use this. And the spinner necklace and the ring and bracelet, I believe they can be customized. Don't quote me on that one either, but some of them can be customized what you wanted to say. But others, they have, like, just take your time is what one of the necklaces say. So you can, this is great, you can personalize it. But if you have a person in your life, like if it's your daughter or maybe your son or your husband even, I mean, the chain is done well where some guys would probably feel comfortable wearing this. There is an automatic fidget spinner right there. And especially the bracelet. I feel the bracelet is very easy to fidget with it and not be noticed. Now I'm just peeking here at the price real quick here. The ring is $55 and the necklace is $125, which is more expensive, but it looks very adult. It looks like it's something that you could wear and it would not stand out as a fidget device. And the bigger charm is about $30. Normally the bracelets, like the worded bracelets, are about $25, and they have sales different times of the year. So if your loved one, if you're looking for some type of fidget that would be like helpful for them, but they don't want to feel like they're using something that stands out, this would be great. The only thing I would say about the spinner ring is I had a ring with like the words actually stand out on the ring, that if someone shakes your hand really hard, it could hurt. I'm not positive. I haven't bought the spinner ring, but I think like these are really neat ideas for women. And again, I think the necklace for a guy could be pulled off, and they can feel they that's the whole thing with some of the times with people who are neurodiverse, is that they know they're different, and that's fine that they are made uniquely. I mean, I don't want to change how the idiosyncrasies, the specialness of my family, I don't want to change that. But they also, like, at times they don't want to stand out too much. Sometimes they want to just be themselves, and if they need to have something to help them regulate, they can do it without drawing attention to themselves. Other times they don't care. And this is such a great way for someone, if they want to have a little bling or a little bit of something that's stylish. So I will put a link in the show notes of those items so you can see them as well. But the main takeaway is having a way for you to remember, besides writing with ink on your hand like I used to do, having a way for you to remember on a daily basis the things you're working on. And maybe it's that you are priceless. I mean, there's a lot of different words. So the words I mentioned, I should make a comment that some of these are off the, like you can buy these, and others, these are custom. Like discipline, that was a custom one for me. And I think authentic, that might have been custom. Try to think back. So there are different options there. So anyway, think about it. Whether it's your word of the year, your major goal, reminder of how you want to handle the conflict in your family, this could be an option for you. And again, if you're like, hey, Christina, this is maybe quite outside my price range, go down to Michael's, go down to Hobby Lobby, try to think of other craft stores that are more across the board, and make your own bracelet. And find that way to remind yourself of those important things in life. Hey, thank you for joining me today. I pray this episode gave you encouragement to take one small step. If so, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts to help other women find this show. By the way, if you're loving this conversation and want more encouragement like this, join my email list at bit.ly/myselfcare. That is bit.ly/myselfcare. I have a planner launching soon that will help you put all this into action in your own life. I look forward to chatting with you again next week for another episode.